Hello there guys, once again welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Aritra, trainer and ambassador at Unity Technologies. Last week I opened my YouTube channel and one fine day on the weekend I wake up and I'm like, let's make an intro. Let's make an intro for my YouTube channel because I have planned some amazing shows in the end of this weekend. So I immediately head on to Unity and using the universal render pipeline, I start working on the project. And this is something I come up with. I'm going to break this down for you and I'm going to show you what I used to make this happen. And the fun fact about this is, it's all made with the bare skin and bones of Unity. So I immediately started with a completely blank scene with the universal render pipeline, removing the skybox and setting the environment lighting source to gradient in the lighting settings. I thought of adding a particle system with all default texture assets to begin with. I was unhappy with the count of emitting particles and updated the count of emitting particles to a rate of 100. A spherical emission would fill the space. I updated the size of particles, made sure that the system is placed at origin. I have the scene filled with particles of random sizes emitting spherically with a constant speed. I needed these particles to suffer from an external force. Adding a particle system force field would be worth it. I pre-warmed the particle system by checking the pre-warm boolean. This would make sure my particle system appears as if few loops of the system were already simulated before it becomes visible. After adding some particle system noise and playing around with the intensity values, the chaos has increased. Let us assign materials to both the particles and its trail under the renderer. I kept both the materials transparent. I'm not enjoying the sprites, so updating the render mode to mesh as a sphere. This would immediately add a 3D look to my particles. Adding emission to my particle material would make it brighter. Let's see what my particle system looks like now. I will play with the force field values and turn on external forces on my particle system to get this result. Further tweaking them until it is really pleasant. Let's add the trail and I would reduce the width before it starts getting scary, which I know it is up to this point. Next up, I will update my camera environment settings and set the color to a darker blue variant. This is what I'll get if I change my particle trail motor ribbons. I'll make some fine tunings to the particle size. Let's add the very necessary post-processing volume. In Unity 2019.3, it is really easy to create a post-processing volume. Under the Game Object tab, you can create a volume and set its type to global, or you can also use it as a trigger for the camera to process the attached profile separately when it enters it. I will play around with the bloom, tone mapping, color grading, and add some vignette on top of it. This looks fair. Let us add a boring sphere out of nowhere and place it at the origin, and it is time to make a really fun shader using ShaderGraph, which is a visual shader writing tool available as a part of the scriptable render pipeline. I will use a procedural Voronoi effect and plug the time output of the time node to the angle offset input of the Voronoi node. Let's clamp the output and multiply the same with the position node, and plugging it into the vertex position gives me a terrible sphere. At this point, it would be a good idea to add a Fresnel effect to the emission value of the shader for a soothing rim light effect. This part of the content creation process with Unity is my favorite. I enjoy working with timelines and Cinemachine. I have added a dolly track with a virtual camera to create smooth on-rails ease in effect. I also added the crazy sphere as a look at target and animated the path position. This would move my camera along the dolly track. The result is kind of nice. Let's spice it up by animating the field of view for a dolly zoom in. I will also add some keyframes to scale my sphere from 0. Make sure I have added an activation track to my sphere, so it is enabled in the middle of the camera ease in. After finishing the dolly track with some fine adjustments, it is time to work on the text. For this, I have used the Text Mesh Pro along with a custom text switcher clip on my timeline. If you are unaware of this feature of timelines, it is a good time to know. You can write and create your own timeline clips for extended timeline features. I will play around with the text alignment and add outlines, drop shadow by updating the material properties. The custom text switcher clip helps me update my text and add a typewriting effect. And I also used the canvas group and animated the alpha value for a fade-in effect. As a cherry on top, I will use a shockwave and shower particle system, which is a part of the Unity Standard Assets Explosion Particle prefab. I will activate the system right when the sphere is activated with the activation track. Next up, I will open the package manager and install the Unity recorder, which is a part of the preview packages, so you would need to turn on the show preview packages on the package manager window. Using a recorder track and clip on my timeline, I can record my game view. I will export the video with a scaled resolution of 4K. This would take only a few minutes depending on your scene, and I think the intro for my brand new show is now ready. I hope you guys enjoyed this video really well, and there was really a lot to learn from this video. I told a lot of keywords that you should go back and definitely check out on the web, because everything is present on the Unity documentation. You just need to have the patience to search them and learn them thoroughly. I really want to tell you about the show that I'm coming up in the end of this weekend. It's featuring all the cool and amazing indie game developers in India, and I'm going to handpick 10 best game footages on my show that I'll sort throughout this week with the help of my team at Unity Technologies, and I'll feature these videos on this Indie Wild with Aritra show. I hope you really like that intro. If you want to if you want to change how it looks, you can always put it in the comments below. I really love to engage with you guys. I really love to share what I have with myself, and guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram, because it's like I'm quite active on Instagram. I keep flying out and I receive a lot of questions from students, engineers, and I try to answer them from my Instagram direct within 24 hours. So if you have a question regarding this how to be a part of my show, or if there is something that you want to learn about Unity, or if you need some technical help or mentorship, please drop me a message on my Instagram and I'll surely get back to you. So thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, because I'm making this content with all my love for you, and keep your eyes on the show that is coming up in the end of this weekend, because it is really going to be very exciting for everyone who is a part of this game development ecosystem in India.